What's up, guys? My name is Justin. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on iRacing for the Skip Barber Mustang Challenge at Summit Point. And we're just going to be cruising around here today for a time trial. I want to make it very clear this is a time trial, so I'm going to spend the next 28 minutes and 11 seconds driving around at moderate speed, just collecting some safety ratings. I want to talk a little bit today about ratings, about life goals, about different things that come from life and how you should approach them, and then kind of how I've approached them from the perspective of sim racing. So just gonna be cruising around here today, nothing too serious. So if you want to see racing, wheel-to-wheel racing or anything like that, maybe this isn't the video for you. Still drop a like down below, sub if you're new. There will still be more racing content, including starting tomorrow, but for today and this afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this, just gonna be talking about kind of the real world life and how we end up in this box of always currently chasing perfection and chasing growth, no matter what the circumstances are surrounding it. So anyways, I want to talk about this starting out in the context of why I'm doing a time trial for half an hour in Skip Barber Mustang Challenge. And the answer is that I was originally hoping to post a video from Proto GT and the HPD at Daytona today, and it did not go well. The last 3 road races I have had, 2 of which you've seen, being that Mustang VIR PCC race where I was one of 2 Mustangs and got beat and lost 69 iRacing, whatever, it doesn't matter. The previous one to that being the Kia race, that is still the worst race I've ever seen in my entire life on iRacing in my over 11 years now on the sim. And then this Proto GT race, which I'll talk about here. I didn't feel that confident, just want to do something different. Bob Giaquinto ran one earlier this week, and I said, hey, that looks like a lot of fun, so I just grabbed the set off the Discord, didn't build anything, ran about 6 laps of practice, said, yep, not horribly slow, not fast, but not horribly slow, and decided to just hop in and give it a whirl, and it did not go well. I mean, we were doing okay. We were running 4th or 5th, I think, out of 7 or 8. I can't remember exactly. No, maybe 9. I think we were running 5th out of 9, and I was just kind of content to ride and lose some iRacing, but pick up a top 5 and have a nice fun race. And I got absolutely destroyed in turn 1. A car had hit the wall on the inside of turn 1, and rather than either limp back to the pits or tow or anything, decided to try to rejoin the racetrack. And if you know Daytona road course, it's very, very narrow through that section, and unfortunately parked basically right in front of my car, and I exploded to death and had 9 minutes required. So that was another back of the pack finish, another, I don't remember, 60 or 70 iRacing lost from that one, maybe 75. And the end-all be-all was I lost another 0.14 of SR, back down to 4.85, so not the end of the world by any means, but after I did so much time trying to get back my 4.99 after that Kia disaster, it was pretty disappointing to lose it again immediately. So we're going to do a couple time trials this week, but just wanted to record this one, have something for a video, get to talk about kind of what these numbers mean to me, why I chase this SR perfection that I've reached a couple times now and hope to always have, and what these iRacing numbers kind of mean. Because honestly, when I saw that I'd lost 259 iRacing in the last 3 races, I thought about that and I was like, I don't think I've ever had a 3-race road stretch that bad in my entire 11 years on the sim. Like, that's about as bad as it can get for me. I very rarely have just awful finishes like that consecutively. Certainly since I started taking road racing more seriously since about 2015. But I thought about that 259 number as I went back into the 3300s after being almost up to, what, 3600, I believe. I was at 3595, I think, pre-Kia. Maybe that's not correct, but somewhere in that range. And I wasn't even upset. I wasn't sad. I didn't care. And that's kind of echoed what I talked about in the Kia video from a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was, in that I don't feel a need to chase those numbers anymore. And here's the reason why. I have been lucky enough and fortunate enough on the sim in my time to experience and do a lot of cool things. I've met a lot of cool people, met friends that'll be friends for life, you know, notably Adam and Alex and Banksy and all those other guys, but even people much more recent like Ethan, Dave, Carl, Coy. Obviously I've met Coy in real life several times now, living quite close to me. CR2, Nico, some of those people that I really, really enjoy spending time with and talking to. And if I'm forgetting you, it's not intentional, it's just who's popped into my head right now as I'm still trying to semi-make laps. I'm not really chasing pace. Again, this is participation. But all those people, that's what's important, and that's what's stuck with me from sim racing. I've gotten to race with and beat TJ Majors, Dale Earnhardt Jr., some former iRacing Pro Series drivers, including Pro Series champions. I've gotten to win races that paid $500 to win. I am, I believe, an 11 or 12 time iRacing League champion. I've won well over 2,000 races between official races, leagues, hosted, etc., etc. So I have accomplished everything. I mean, I've won the Indy 500, the iRacing Indy 500. I've won NIS races at Martinsville. I've won 2 top split LMP, whatever top class prototype enduro races ever. I have finished in the top 5 in every single enduro that iRacing offers, with the road enduro, that is, with the exception of Spa, which we won't talk about right now. But I have done it all in my 11 years. I've been so beyond successful, and I'm so blessed and so thankful and lucky for. And looking at those numbers now, they don't mean anything. I'm chasing a vast cavern almost of whatever this sim entices you to chase, and which is why it's kind of become a brainwash of always having to progress upwards. And as much as that makes sense and is fair enough, and you see people now just constantly chasing 10, 11, 12,000 iRacing, I'm sure, I don't think anybody's at 12 yet, but someone will be soon based on the way that the projections are going and the kind of wealth of iRacing that's at the top of the pool. But I mean, I looked at that 3,300 and I said, it doesn't make a difference. Like, the things I race, the things I like to race, Kia, PCC, you know, sports car-y type stuff, I'm not running Porsche Cup, I'm not trying to go for pro, I'm not chasing points, you know, for an overall championship anymore like I did in the Solstice days. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be in top split, and I'm probably going to be at the top of top split or near the top of top split most of the time. So 3,300, 3,500, 4,000, whatever, it makes no difference. I want to get back above 4,000 in a sports car just for my own personal thing of, okay, I went all the way down when I was doing that challenge back in season 1 of driving every series in one season, which was really cool to do, you know, have that iRacing world record of some sorts. But now I just want to get back to 4K to say I did it, and I don't really care other than that. I want to get to 3K Formula car because I know that that's one of my bigger weaknesses. I got the 3K Dirt Oval, I know that's one of my bigger weaknesses. So these are all things that I want to do for my own sake, have nothing to do with needing to feel validated or feel like I'm one of the fast guys or anything like that. I know that I'm well past my competitive peak of, you know, when I was in high school and college and could put hours and hours and hours into the sim, nothing but practice and laps and testing, and before all the COVID people came and everything else became deflated, and before setup shops and all these things. So I fully understand that that's not a thing that I care about anymore, and that I'm not good enough to actually compete about. I thought for a long time, and I mentioned this before, that if everything went perfectly for me in the initial years of Road to Pro, you know, 2018, 2019, if everything went absolutely perfectly and I had good sets and good strategy and things just went my way, I felt pretty confident that I would at least have an outside shot of being a pro driver. Is that realistic? I have no idea. I never actually took the stab at it. But am I good enough now to compete with the armies of setup shop people and people that put all their life into essentially making pro series for iRacing? No. And do I even care? No, I don't. Like, it's not a relevant metric for me to gauge whether or not I'm a successful and prominent sim racer anymore. It's just not. It's kind of why you haven't seen a lot of B-Open recently, because I can't be bothered knowing I have to put in 6 or 7 or 8 hours a week into setup building just to even be close to competing with the people that spend, you know, have 50 people working on a set and spend 10 hours each a week and have 500 hours every week into setups. Like, I can't compete with that as one person, nor do I really care to. So I mean, hopefully what we'll see is more street stocks, more 87s coming up, more things that I don't need to put nearly as much time into. Of course, I'm still going to put time into it, practice, and try to run better and have success, but, you know, putting 5 or 10 hours into a B-Open set before I even start running time lapse to see how I compare, just because I know I'm not close, is really frustrating and really just a waste of my time at this point, which is unfortunate because the Xfinity car is pretty much my favorite oval car in the sim. But again, maybe someday I'll go back to it, but right now it's just, the pool is so deep with people that just plug and play and pay for sets, and I'm never going to do that. I don't care enough to do that, so that'll never be me. But again, back to my original point, like, I don't care about those iRacing numbers anymore. I don't care about what the points say on the championship standings or anything of that nature. I do care about what my SR is, because I have a lot of pride in the fact that I'm basically the safest, cleanest driver in the history of iRacing. I think that's really cool as a title. Again, nobody actually cares. Nobody says, "Ooh, I'm the second safest driver," even though it's probably Carl Sampson. But I mean, nobody looks at it like that because nobody cares. Because Safety rating is so easy to come by these days through exactly what I'm doing right now. You can just time trial until your ears bleed. You can just, you know, hang around in the back, start from the pits, never race anybody, and have 400 iRating. But, you know, I got my A-Class 499, so I'm special. Like, no, I take a lot of pride in the fact that I'm very fast in a lot of cars and have had a lot of success, and still am, you know, that safe. Because most people these days, you know, if they grind Legends or late models or something that doesn't have cautions, they're just plowing through people, averaging, you know, 4 or 6 or 8x a race. Like, there's no racecraft there. There's no, you know, no safety, anything like that. It's just circumstance and just drive through the guy because result equals good. And I've never been like that. I'm 26, but I like to think of myself as part of the old crew from iRacing that before it all became mainstream and popular and drive and smash the pass and all this other stuff. Like, that was who I am, like who I am as a driver. I pride myself on racecraft and racing fair. Like, aggressive is different than, you know, plowing through people. You can be aggressive and make bold moves and do it cleanly, and a part of that is when you make mistakes and get it wrong, apologize and let the other guy have the spot back. You know, I mean, if things go wrong, you don't just get to, oh, sorry, like, iRacing be iRacing and then move on. Like, I'm not like that. I mean, that's not the way I am. I know that's not the way Alex is, for the most part, speedways aside. That's not the way Adam is. Like, all that old group that I've been racing with for 10 years now, like, that's not how we operate. It's just, it's a different mindset, and maybe it's the wrong mindset, and maybe it's holding me back from having a bunch of 6Ks again. But I mean, I reached 6K in the Solstice like 4 or 5 years ago without too much issue, racing clean. Like, I get that that's a car that's going the speed of a turtle, but you still gotta drive it, you still gotta go fast, and you still gotta do it respectfully, because that car will die and explode in a million pieces if you get it wrong. So I thought a lot about why life has thrown me this opportunity and this challenge, and I literally, since this Proto GT Challenge race, which was last night, so I've had, you know, 20 hours to think about this, and if I wanted to record myself time trialing essentially to have this discussion, have this, you know, sort of therapy talk. But it's really important to me that people understand what they're aiming for. Like, if you just enjoy sim racing, don't pay attention to the numbers. Like, yeah, they're a good metric if you're progressing, but they're not the end all be all. If you're having fun, focus on that. Race what you enjoy. If you're a 3,000 iRating but you're a 2,000 level driver, it's gonna go back to where it's supposed to be. If you're a 3,000 level driver and you're a 2,000 iRating because you're just running C fixed all the time, don't sweat it. But if you're having fun, have fun. Like, just keep doing that. That's what's important. That's why we all get into sim racing and why we get into any hobbies. If your hobby is, you know, fishing or surfing or table tennis or pickleball, like my parents have gotten into, which is kind of strange, but I mean, my brother used to play a lot of spike ball. Like, I don't even understand the rules or understand anything about spike ball. It's after my time. It was after I was out of high school that I guess people started doing this, like, regularly. I don't know anything about it, but if it's a hobby, it's a thing you like. Some people like golf. Some people, you know, go to season tickets for Packer games. I mean, whatever your thing is that you enjoy and gives you smiles in life, doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter how good you are at it. Just chase that. I mean, I can't say enough how important having fun is in the things you like to do. Like, I know there are some people that are super high iRating, and again, I'm going to try to keep this iRating based, but it's, keep in mind, it's really still about life too. Like, I know there are some people that have 10Ks and they're just as happy as can be, and they enjoy just grinding Legends at 2 in the morning to get 4 iRating at a time. And yeah, that was me in the Solstice, because it didn't matter who showed up in the Solstice. Almost certainly I was going to win. Certainly if it was an American split late evening, I was going to win, because I was just better than everybody else. And I still enjoyed it because I loved driving that car. I could race one dude who had 146 iRating and beat him and gain literally 1 iRating, and I still had fun because I loved driving the car and I loved PCC as a series, and it was enjoyable. But these people that, you know, their only metric for success and whether or not they're having fun is winning, like, I don't understand that at all, especially if it's not for first. Like, I've talked with people about this a lot. Like, I half understand, not really, but I half understand if, like, you are in second place and there's 1 corner to go and you just full send someone because just winning is all you care about. Just actually being in first place is good. That's, you know, that's not, again, that's not how I drive. It's not excusable, but I sort of half get the mindset just because of what it is. That said, when I look back on people that have sent me for like 4th or 6th or 10th or whatever position, for no reason, they're like, well, I needed that spot so I could keep positive iRating. I'm like, dude, you just sent me for 9th. Like, there has to be a line of, understanding the bigger picture here. Like, yes, you want to gain iRating and progressively get better, and if this is your metric for justifying yourself, fine. But, I mean, to say I gained 4 iRating because I sent a dude for 9th at Atlanta Motor Speedway, like, is that relevant now? Like, what have we gotten society into? And this constant idea of that we have to always be going up, 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 or we're a failure is toxic as hell. And it's going to burst at some point. It's going to be a burst bubble. I don't know if it's going to be my generation or the generation below me or above me. I don't know if it's already happening. It's too early to tell these things. But the fact that that's the way we look at things and hobbies, and again, from my perspective, iRacing is flawed and it's pretty scary. But again, just have fun. I can't tell you how much I wish I could go back to 2013, in the summer of 2013, and watch my first iRacing races. I remember before I got on iRacing, I've told part of this before, so this part of this will be kind of repeat, but I was in a pretty prominent Forza Motorsport 4 league back when I'd call it a kid, I was 14, 15. And I was really bad, but I enjoyed it. I had fun, and I saw this like semi-new thing. It was 4 or 5 years old at this point, iRacing. And I didn't know anything about it. I guess it was less than 5 years old because the 5-year anniversary was like 2 months after I joined. But I saw this iRacing thing, and I was begging my parents to get me a 3-month code, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what hardware I needed. I didn't know if my computer could take it. It just looked cool. And I begged my parents to let me buy a Mad Catz, or I guess I had my Mad Catz Xbox wheel from my Xbox from Forza and stuff. But I begged my parents to let me do this. I didn't realize I needed an adapter to make it work on my PC, so it's a long story. But anyways, the crux of the story is I begged my parents to let me get this 3-month promo code to give it a try on my mom's laptop when I was 15 and a half on my half birthday. And they finally caved, but only after my grandparents left town. My grandparents from Arizona were in town, and I don't remember why, it doesn't really matter, but they wouldn't let me do it because they knew I'd just be addicted to this sim game at the time, I guess, because I was 15. But the sim, they knew I'd be addicted to iRacing and just do it all the time, and they weren't incorrect in that assumption, but they wanted me to spend quality time with my grandparents while they were in town. Understandable, I only get to see them once or twice a year at best. And I remember my first races, like I remember my very first race in the street stock. I'd set up a PS3 controller that I'd bought for like $5 just so I could plug and play and have a driver enough to get this adapter that I was still waiting on for my Mad Catz Xbox wheel to be able to use the sim. And I remember my first street stock race at USA was awful. I was slow as balls, it was horrible, it was not fun. I'm sure I was the most hazardous, dangerous, the guy everybody looks at and goes, what in the heck is he doing? He needs to go practice. But this was the norm back 10, 11 years ago before it became so mainstream. There weren't nearly as many splits of just rookies or brand new people at all times. We got to know the people that were in our splits, like first name basis, because you saw them regularly. And I just remember how much fun I had in that race and how desperate I was once I finally got my adapter and got the Xbox wheel up and running for sim racing. How desperate I was to win my first race at USA, and it took a couple of weeks. But I remember, like, specifically, my family was at one of the neighbors at a campfire, and I had stayed back temporarily to run a race at USA. And I was dominating this race because people crash a lot in rookies, and especially back in those days. The NTM V5 was a much different beast than the V7 is that we have now. But I remember spinning out off of turn 2 past the halfway mark, maybe like lap 25, with like an 8-second lead. And I was like, Justin, you idiot, like you're trying to win your first ever race. All you have to do is bring the damn thing home because everybody sucks in the split and you're not going to die. And I rage quit. Like I probably could have gotten back going and still salvaged a decent finish, maybe even still won if other people had issues. But I just rage quit because I didn't know any better at the time. And I was crushed. Like I ran to the neighbor's house to tell my dad how mad I was at myself as a 15-year-old that I had been such a failure because I hadn't won this race that was like sitting in my lap. And he just looked at me like, Justin, you're going to be doing this sim based on how you talk about it for a long time. Like you're going to win a lot of races. And I was like, I know. Like I brushed him aside. I know, but I want to win the first one. This should have been the first one. And he just was like, no, you're going to win a lot of races. You don't have to sweat chasing this first one. Like, are you going to feel any differently after the first one's done? No, you're just going to want the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and so on. And he was spot on, as my dad usually is with his knowledge. He's pretty much the smartest person I've ever met. But you know, he was right. And again, thousands of wins later and tens of thousands. I don't know how many races I've done, maybe 5,000 starts total across everything, but you know, 1,000 wins later or whatever, it still rings true. Like, I still get just as excited trying to win a race as I did 11 years ago trying to win the first one. And that applies to rookie series, that applies to my own league, that applies to hosted races. It's just the thrill of winning something, especially something as difficult as iRacing is, even for someone as experienced as I am, is still very real. However, chasing that to the point of becoming obsessed with it and just no other outcome is acceptable is very, very dangerous and very, very toxic. And I fully admit that I still fall victim to it. Now, you've seen me in videos get really bent out of shape about finishing second in whatever, or potentially not winning rookie street stocks, even if the other guy I'm trying to beat is really, really good. Like, that's a very real thing that I still get trapped into, and that's probably a good thing because that means I still care. Like, the day, if there's ever a day that comes where I don't care about finishing second anymore, or losing, or making a mistake that costs me a win, if that day ever comes, I know it's probably time to either hang up iRacing or take a break or do something else or whatever, because that means I've overstayed my welcome of caring about how this goes. Again, hence why I'm still here time trialing by myself for half an hour talking to you, chasing chasing safety rating that doesn't mean anything. I'm at 4.85, I'm at no risk of demotion, but I want that 499 back. It's important to me, it means something, it's special. I've worked very hard for it over several years, over and over again on 2 accounts. It's important to me, and so I'm going to chase it, and it gives me something to do, and it gives me a reason to record a video. But I can't stress enough. I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, but if you lose your fun, if you lose your ability to just go out and race, and you take your results too seriously, it's not a hobby at that point. You've made it part of your personality. It's almost become a job. Because even if you're really good at your job, I don't think anybody truly loves their job. Like, nobody likes their job to the point, I shouldn't say that. Maybe CEOs and weird people do that, you know, have no life or whatever. But most of us, even if we enjoy our job, like as an entity, if you were offered the same amount of money to not do your job and to not go and just sit at home and get paid the same amount, everybody would do that, right? Why would you want to go sit and work for somebody else and spend your time doing something that you don't enjoy, even if you like your job? You know what I mean? When you could not, and if that's the way you feel about iRacing or, again, any other hobby, you've missed the boat. You've already gone off the deep end. You're in it for the wrong reasons. And to some people, that's okay and acceptable. Some people just dump a bunch of money into getting huge sim rigs and massive TVs and having full immersion, because this is the closest they'll ever get to racing, and they pride themselves on, again, getting no sleep and sitting up at 2 in the morning and grinding 3 iRacing at a time, and that's fine. If that's what makes them happy and they enjoy that, cool. But then what's the point? I mean, that's not what iRacing was designed for. It was designed to be the closest most of us will ever get to a race car on a racetrack. I mean, as of this recording, I haven't done my first track day with Bluey yet, but it's coming. But I know, and my family knows, that I'm as prepared as I can be, having never sat foot in a race car before, because of iRacing. Like, I know my way around Road America like the back of my hand, and I'm excited and I'm fully prepared to go and give it a whirl in a, you know, not a timed event, but like a competition style event. And that's really freaking cool. Like, that's what I wanted 11 years ago, and now I have the opportunity to do it, and I'm very blessed and I'm very thankful for that. But if you just are here for the numbers, you are missing the whole point. And again, I'm not going to judge if that's all you care about and you're just a numbers person and you want just maximum iRating. Cool, but try to still have fun, people. I mean, that's what's most important, is having that fun, enjoying what you do, and, you know, and so on. So, you know, we're down to the last 4 minutes of this thing. I've been talking for probably almost 25 minutes now about weird stuff. And again, apply this to life. It's about iRacing, it's about numbers on iRacing and on the sim and your hobbies and stuff, but apply it to life. Like, if you are going through life day at a time, and again, I'm guilty of this as well, you just feel like you're going nowhere, and even when you do make progress, it just feels like a step in the equation. Like, if you are, you know, given a raise or new responsibilities at work, or you get a new pet or a new piece of furniture or something, and it just feels like it's not special or important anymore, like you haven't accomplished anything, you're not progressing forwards, then you need a mindset change as much as a scenery change. Like, there are a lot of things you can change in your life in the blink of an eye. I mean, good and bad. You know, some are your fault, some are not your fault. You know, accidents happen, things happen to you, sicknesses and so on. I speak, you know, firsthand as a CF patient about that, but also, I mean, you know, things happen that are good in the blink of an eye. The promotion I got at work a year ago, totally unexpected. I realized full well that I was essentially the only candidate that was fully qualified for the position when it was offered to me, but you know, I was on the fence about taking it just because I didn't know if I was actually ready and didn't understand that in the real world, good companies will take care of you in training you and teaching you and holding your hand while you learn. And it's been a struggle, and there have definitely been mistakes. Thankfully, most in the first 3 months and not as many the last 9. But, you know, if I didn't, you know, want to challenge myself and push, I could have stayed in my safety net of what I was doing and just been content just going through the motions every day. But that's not what life's about. And so, is it a perfect situation or a perfect solution? No, of course not. But you know, it's definitely something that I look back on, and again, apply this to life as well as sim racing. You don't always have to chase the numbers. Sometimes you can just enjoy something new, enjoy what you're doing, try a new series, try a new job, try a new state that you move to if you're in the United States or country or whatever. Like, run that series you never run that discipline you never run. If you've never touched a road race before because you're an oval guy, give it a shot, and you're probably going to suck. And not that you have to care about, you know, I hear all the time people are like, oh, road racing is so easy from oval people because, you know, there's nobody within 3 seconds of you. Well, on the flip side of that, the road guys all come back and say, oval's so easy, there's only 3 corners or 2 corners or 1 corner or whatever, however you want to justify it in your head. It's not a real comparison. It's not a fair comparison, but try the thing you haven't done before. Forget about the number. If your I rating goes down or your safety rating goes down or you get demoted, so be it. Use it as a growth opportunity. Use it to learn. Use it to become better. And then apply that to your real life as well. I know we're all here because we're sim racers and we love race cars and speed and everything else. And again, that's been most of my life, essentially, has been chasing the thrill of speed and race cars and my love of cars. It's been most of my adult life and certainly most of my childhood. But, you know, step out of that comfort zone. Try something new. If you haven't run the Clio in PCC, run the Clio. If you haven't run dirt oval in a while because you suck at dirt oval, well, maybe not dirt oval. Dirt oval driving standards are absolutely atrocious, but I mean, take that leap, take that step, try something new, and have fun doing it. So as we come up to this final lap here of this time trial, I hope you appreciate this. I hope you've enjoyed me talking for the last half hour about life, about iRacing, kind of what it means to me, why goals are important, but not letting them consume you. Again, obviously, if you have any questions or stories to tell or anything else like that, let me know down below. I greatly appreciate all the comments and love and support, as always. It means the world to me that I still get to do this and have so much fun to sim after all these years, and that people enjoy watching me race and talk, and that I have such great friends that I'm able to enjoy driving cars with. So, yeah, that's a wrap. That's half an hour of my life that hopefully we get decent safety rating out of, but I'm not going to include that part in the video because it's just about the talk and about the bigger picture today. So I will time trial as much as I have to this weekend. I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day today when you're seeing this, and not Memorial Day, Labor Day. Damn it, I got caught up. There was a funny story at work that I won't get into, but Labor Day. Labor Day is what today is. So I hope everybody's a great Labor Day. Stay safe if you're partying or having fun with friends. But again, as always, just keep the bigger picture in mind, but still go out there and enjoy your friends, enjoy your hobbies, enjoy your favorite things. So we will come up here. There's the checkered flag. One more corner to go, and that'll be a wrap on this time trial. And hopefully by the time you see the next video tomorrow afternoon, that the safety rating is back where it should be and everything is all good. So come across the line, finish this up, and we will pull over and park. And again, hopefully I get good SR out of this, but thank you so much for coming along and being a part of this for the half an hour that I had to sit and drive. And it means so much to me that you will sit and watch me drive solo and talk about life and talk about cars and everything that we share in common. So we'll call it a wrap on today. Make sure you drop that like again, sub down below if you're brand new, and let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you want to see more therapy drives and insight, whether it be about sim racing or about life or anything else. So we'll call it here today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. But until next time, as always, bye.